I feel like we're still cycling our discharge here. Sounds gross when I say it like that. Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad. And today I'm going to be doing some more Oscilio games. But before we get into it, I do want to just note that I think a couple of last videos have been kind of sloppy in terms of gameplay. So I'm going to try my best for this video to really kind of focus on thinking through my hands a little bit more instead of just kind of like autopiloting. I think the last couple videos there are some like pretty obvious mistakes that I think I was just probably like tired or something that I was kind of like autopiloting for. So I wanted to give a little bit more attention to kind of individual turns this video and try to think through my plays a little bit more, which might mean the games maybe are a little bit longer, but we'll go and see how it turns out. But before we get into the deck list, I did want to kind of briefly talk about the kind of meta spread currently. So when we talk about Oscilio, I think that Oscilio's kind of struggle matchups, at least how I've kind of understood it, are kind of Azalea and Aurora. Aurora just being like very, very fast for us to try to deal with a lot of like on hits that generate a ton of value. Azalea obviously has Red Ledger, New has, kind of bullshit hand disruption. And then Viscerai also can be pretty disruptive. They're on like the Succumb to Temptation stuff. But in terms of our good matchups, we do actually see that like Enigma, I think, is generally seen as a pretty good matchup, so that's good for us. Florian, I think, is also pretty good for Oscilio. And then we also have like a bunch of like kind of the lower tier aggro decks. So we have like Levia, Dash IE, KO. So overall, it's not really that terrible of a matchup spread. I think the ones that we're going to struggle with the most, again, are Aurora and then kind of like these more kind of aggro disruptive heroes. I don't know if New is technically aggro, but like more disruptive heroes, basically. So I think these are kind of the core matchups that we can probably improve upon with Oscilio, which is going to bring me to kind of talking about my deck list today. So again, I'm not an Oscilio expert, but I've been kind of following with some deck building trends. And some of the things that I want to see, or that some of the things I want to try that I've seen are Seduce Secrets. So this is a pretty cool card. Just being an instant baseline is already very good. The hand information part is not incredibly relevant, but it's sometimes relevant. But the most important part of this card is actually just playing it from Arsenal and being able to draw a card. So we can play this in response to like a CNC or something, and we basically still get to keep a 5-card hand. It's almost like we're having like a command and a Crown of Providence as a card, which is kind of interesting. So I want to give this a try today. I've tried it in the past and it's been fine, but I wanted to kind of re-examine it one more time. And then to kind of make room for some of these cards, also wanted to try Truce again. Supposedly, this has made Aurora feel a little bit better, according to Yuto, so I want to give this a shot today. Scours we're also running as kind of like sideboard tech. And then we do have kind of like a mini switchboard package, which I wanted to kind of play around with. So, like, we kind of have the best of, I think, each of the individual package. So we're cutting down on things like E-Strike, Weave Lightning, and I'm trying to think of the other kind of like more Cheerios card. I think it's E-Strike, Weave Lightning, like Lightning Press. And just running like the Lightning Surge to the Entwine Lightning, just because they kind of synergize the most with the game plan. And then we're also running like Null Shock and High Voltage, cutting down on Eclectics. I think we're main decking the Spindles at this point, although I can see like cutting them. But I think the Spindles are just very, very solid and also kind of ups our spell density a little bit. So yeah, I wanted to give this list a shot and see how it goes. And again, for this video, I really want to try to focus on my individual turns because I do think that I've just been kind of tired from moving stuff over the last couple days. Tegan and I are both pretty exhausted, so there might come a point in the near future, just FYI, that we kind of take a break from video stuff to kind of focus on the move and figure that out. But for the time being, we're going to continue doing videos and stuff because I think we're still having fun with it. For now, let's go ahead and get into the games though. All right, looks like we got an Aurora. So I am going first, which means we probably want to be a little bit more big spelly. And I do want to try out these truces, probably over Seduce Secrets. I think Seduce Secrets are more for like disruptive matchups. And this seems good to me. Let's run it and see how it goes. And again, Aurora is a matchup that I've been struggling to figure out. It just feels like they're so aggressive. So we can develop out sigil conductivity here. I pitched a somersault because we obviously didn't have much going on. But what we can do here is we can play sigil solace, play sigil pitch sigil conductivity, and just send spindle for 4. They do have maybe 3 though. Maybe developing out the sigil conductivity honestly might even just be better. Yeah, I can kind of see that being the case. Like, we can opt 1 here effectively, but I don't really love giving them the opportunity to filter. I think we're going to arsenal our somersault here just in case we draw like an attack that we can bounce. So we can basically almost play it as like a D-react. Okay, and I'm glad we didn't give them the opportunity to filter because it looks like they're just starting on a Heaven's Clause here. Although it looks like they maybe want to undo. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and take 3 here. Unless they got something. Alright, they do have a press, which is fine. That is a-okay with me. Develop out embodiment. Then I think we will just go ahead and cycle the Comet Storm Shock since we do have the redundant spindle as our spell. Okay, this is fine, I think. Can use this for pitch. So we're pretty much guaranteed to draw a card off of the CLV here, right? So maybe we just play out these 2, play out somersaults, just to get it out of our arsenal, because you can actually play this without a card to target, right? Yeah, so I think we're going to start with the Sigil Lightning, then play out the CLV, then play out somersault, and we're just going to arsenal whatever random card we get. Seems pretty good. Okay, this is a wealth of options here. I don't think we need the truce at this point. Same thing with the current funnel. Sigil Solace is fine, but not crazy. Oh, yeah. Looks like they want to enable chat. All right. No problem. Okay, so while our opponent is waiting, we probably want... I don't think we want null either. Mind Warp is probably fine, but I'd rather put the Sigil in Arsenal, I think. And then maybe we bottom the Blink into Sigil Solace and just top. Let this resolve. We'll draw our Sigil Brilliance here. Okay, we draw our Sigil Brilliance. No problem. So we draw our Sigil Brilliance, we're going to park in Arsenal and then hope to use it kind of as a setup turn. I think in one of the more recent videos, I just played it out in a turn, which I think I just wasn't thinking. So we see an E-Strike here, which is fine. I do, out of this hand, probably want to cycle the Comet Storm Shock, but let's see what they do first. We are getting an Embodiment Lightning, so next turn doesn't even need to be the pop-off turn necessarily. Alright, double E-Strike I'm kind of fine with. Buff Power also seems fine, so it's maybe representing another Lightning Press or something. I think we're okay with that. Yeah, I think this is fine. They have another press, they have another press. Sure. I don't think we need to go crazy with Greaves here. Alright, Sigil Solace is also fine. I do think we want to cycle the Comet Storm Shock because we do have the redundant Mind Warp is what I'm thinking. Alright, we find a Fry, which is decent. It's not bad. Especially if we would just want to pump the Mind Warp. Alright, Sigil Lightning breaks, which is great for us. That means we can play our Goner Flash here. We bounce with Sigil Brilliance. We should pass reactions here because this does have go again. And then, because we lose our action point otherwise, now we play it out in resolutions. Rebounce the gun. Pass here. Sorry, we should play out Fry. Fry first. And I don't actually think we're playing out the Gone in the Flash one more time. I think we're just doing Sigil of Solace into Pump, although I guess it depends what we draw here. All right, we draw another Sigil Conductivity. Interesting. That's fine, but not incredible here. Should we just cycle this, honestly? We already have one set up, so it's not really doing a ton. I think that's kind of fine. Yeah, the Sigil's Conductivity is not doing a ton here, so I think I'm fine to cycle it. We find a Flittering, which is actually better, way better, right? So we can do Flittering into Sigil of Solace, into Mind Warp, and then Arsenal, Argon of the Flash. So yeah, I guess we'll just do that now. Could have waited until after reaction, so I think that's fine. And then Volzar and Mind Warp for 6, which should just barely get over their AB. Okay, I think that was a really good play for me. Again, I occasionally do make good plays in addition to the bad ones. Okay, they take the full 6. We get a really nice setup here. Our CLV is going away, and they do get their balance trigger, but that's fine. 24 damage on 5 cards is a little bit of a tall order. And our hand is quite good here. All right, Arc Lightning is a little bit annoying, though. So we will not pay here. It'll break our Sigil, but we do get the embodiment set up. Ideally here, I'm looking to try to bounce the Sigil Brilliance by probably discarding the Fry is probably the weakest card, or maybe it's even the Flittering. It's probably the Fry, just because we're probably gonna have extra action points here. All right, this coming in for 7 is quite annoying though. We obviously can't really afford to block this out though. Yeah, this is fine. They're gonna draw a card off this for sure, but there's not really a whole lot we can do about it. I still don't think we're within kill range just yet. Like 16 damage is a lot. They do have Electrify from Arsenal though, which is pretty good. I'm holding this Flash of Brilliance for an attack that we can actually reasonably block. I don't think Snatch falls into that category, especially if it's coming in for 7. All right, the 7 embodiment here, and then the Entwine. That's just getting go again off that. So I think we actually just want to save 2 armor here in case we need to block with Flittering. So let's go ahead and block with Flash of Brilliance now. And then if we need to block like another Snatch, we can do it with the Flittering, and we'll discard our Fry. I think makes the most sense. Oh wait, whoops, sorry. Block with Flash. Discard the Fry, bounce our Sigil. Okay, and this is an excellent hand for Gone in the Flashing. They will get another damage proc, but I think that's okay. And then another Arc Lightning, which is also okay. They did have the other Snatch, so I'm glad we saved our 2 armor here. Oh wait, whoops, sorry. Pass, block. Yeah, I think those are going to be the blocks. So that is why I tried to hold back the 2 armor, just to deny them a little bit in value in case we get another turn. Could also see like not blocking there, but I think that's a little bit greedy. So here is the ultimate question: is should we play out the CLV first? I think we have to, just based on how this hand goes, because they're probably not blocking, if anything. But we will have to pop our Blossom here, regardless. And then I think we do just have to play this out. Yes, because if we can't do it in resolutions, we would lose our go again. Or we can't do it during reactions because we would lose our go again on the attack. So we have to do this now if we're going to lead on it. And then we'll Gone in Flash. Although notably, we did lose 1 action point here because for not blocking with for not popping the Greaves in response to the CLB. But I think we shouldn't need another action point, hopefully. It's hard to say. Alright, we do get our trigger. Let's see what we get off the top. Get another Sigil Brilliance, which could be quite good, but we do have to live another turn. I guess we are playing it out, though. So it looks like we're probably not going to be using that extra action point here unless we want to try to filter towards something. It's a good question. We are coming in for a lot here. Wait, have I not? Oh my god. I didn't pop my grooves. I'm so sorry. We pop our grooves now. Wait, what am I doing? All right. Pop our grooves now, and then we do this. I probably should have done this like a while ago. Where did I even get all those extra action points from? Oh, just from the go again? Maybe that's what it was. Okay, I'm losing my mind. I'm sorry. So we got a flash for an extra 7. Pass here, they go to 12. And replay it out one more time. We can get them down to 8. It's going to be a little bit of a tall order to kill them, though. I guess we just send it one more time. All right, another arc lightning is definitely scary. Sand does somewhat block, but it's a little bit suspect. The Blast Oblivion could come in clutch here, though. All right, another 1 and 2. I think we are going to end up having to block something here. So the question is, I guess, how do we block? I feel like we're going to have to give up on the Blast Oblivion Dream. I don't think it's actually necessary to kill them here, and blocking 2 on a CLV seems really strong. They haven't seen one yet as well. Although, notably, they already proc CLV, so I guess that wasn't something to really play around. Alright, second strike. So they come in for 7 plus 1. Oh, sorry, we need to actually filter here. So we pitch our CLV. Draw Gauntlet Flash, which is actually fine. We block 6 here. And then I think we do just end up playing out our Sigil Brilliance here just to get a pump on the bindings. We get a 4 pump on the bindings, which is pretty good. And then just hope to find any spell off the top. Okay, there's 1, 2. Come on, 1 spell. Oh, we find a spindle. Okay, I think that does it. So we just Sigil Lightning, then send Spindle for 1,000,000. Oh, oh, they have Sigil Solace. No. Oh, that saves them, I think. So they have to pay another 3 here. They go to 1. Okay, well, we do have Comets from Shock plus High Voltage. Wait, we're fine. Actually, hold on, sorry. I fucked up. We should have held on to the blink here. Yeah, so play that out. We hold on to all of this, right? Because we want to pay for the Comet Storm Shock. So we top, 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 top. They are at 1. They send in a Static Shock, which was fine. We'll pass to reacts. High voltage. High voltage. And then we shock. And then Volsar. This should just get there unless they have another Sigil. GG. Ooh, just barely got there. Oh, there's definitely something I could have done better that game. Well, obviously they got on the flash turn. We just forgot to pop Grease, but I don't think it ended up mattering a lot. Definitely a tough one. I don't think we played horribly though. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to like recap the game in my brain. We'll just go on to the next one though. All right. Oscilio Mirror. Let's see what they choose here. All right, they're gonna go first. Do we want balance into Oscilio? Probably not. I feel like Chalk Charmers could get a decent amount of value, so they want to go first, which means we should maybe do kind of the big spell thing. Seems reasonable. Seduce Secrets is also not probably. Maybe we should try Scour over Seduce Secrets. I'm curious if Scour is even good against Oscilio. I'm not sure that it is, but we'll give it a try. All right, looks like we're on the same equipment setup, which maybe gives me a little bit of hope that I'm sideboarding correctly. I've seen some people also just use the what do you call it? The etchings or the bindings of the Third Age. They are starting with an Entwine Lightning, revealing a Sigil of Lightning. Okay. So I think we'll go ahead and block with our Scour here. I think it's fine to get a little bit of block value. All right, they have Flittering into Sigil Lightning. We'll go ahead and cycle here. Try to find something a little bit better either to block with or not. But it looks like we do not find anything great. So we are going to be leaking a decent bit of damage here, which is unfortunate, but not much we could have done about it. All right, the other Bullsar pump into an Etchings, which is pretty good, although they don't really have anything to get yet. Curious why they didn't like discard the Sigil, but I guess they aren't guaranteed to draw into something. So we'll go ahead and pay 1, take another 4. We're not going to use our Spell Void here. I think it gets a little bit better the longer the game goes. And I think we want to hold on to the discharge generally. Seems fine. Okay, this is an interesting hand though. Sigil Lightning pops. I feel like we're still cycling our discharge here. Sounds gross when I say it like that. And then we'll play out CLV. We can double shock and then just arsenal whatever we get. That seems pretty good. So we'll shock. We'll let it resolve. See if they want. We can actually maybe bait them into paying for it here. All right, looks like they're cycling off Oscilio. Pitching a high voltage, which is interesting. It would be hilarious if they nulled in response to that and we countered it with another null. That would be like peak gaming. All right, we'll target them. Hope they may like pay into it or something. They could honestly pay into it. I don't think that's. I think it's probably wrong, but like I don't think it's outside of the question of things that they can do. Because they might be like putting me on like another spell or something. It's kind of an interesting thing. All right, so they do actually pay into it, which is interesting. So we'll do shock again and then pump it. It's working out pretty well for us, I think. You can only still pay another 1. And they are pitching a blink, which is pretty good for us. On a 3-card hand, I'm pretty happy with this. And then we get to arsenal whatever we draw off the top, which is pretty likely to be something good. Target them. They pay 1, and then they can't pop Spell Void, meaningfully at least. Alright, we get a Spindle in Arsenal, which is not a terrible draw. Hope we just don't brick on spells really bad, and we kind of do, but it's maybe manageable here. I think the play next turn might be like Flittering into Sigil Conductivity, send Spindle, and then Arsenal something. Yeah, I'm not sure. You also block a little bit here. Not that opposed to that. It looks like they might be also trying to bounce our embodiment here. So what do we do on our next turn? So if we're Flittering Charge plus Sigil Conductivity and then sending Spindle, pitching Mind Warp, that means we don't have to pay for Volzar, pitch 2, and then Spindle is basically IPing ourselves, so we might as well just block with it because it's not getting much done here. I think we'll block 3, and then maybe... Should we just give up Greaves just to deny a potential CLV? It's potentially risky, but I kind of like it here. Could be funny. Most likely what I'm guessing is they either do nothing or they deny our like embodiment or something. Okay, so they're still threatening CLV, but I don't think we can do much here. Okay, looks like they probably just didn't have it. Which is fine. Again, I don't think Greaves are generally getting a ton of value like for like breakpoints or anything random, so I think it's fine to give them up there to potentially deny a trigger. We'll start with the Flittering here. Baseline, this already has Go again, so there's no real reason to play out Sigil Conductivity to give it Go again. We'll just hide some information about our hand. Yep, so we'll go ahead and pass here. Alright, we get our CLV trigger. It's a Gone in a Flash, which is amazing right now, but probably going to have to save it for next turn. So we can play out the Sigil Conductivity, then send Spindle, or we could alternatively send Mind Warp, and then IP ourselves with the Gone in a Flash, but that feels kind of bad. I think we're just doing the Spindle play. Like, Mind Warp is more disruptive, but it makes our next hand kind of weird, which I'm not a super big fan of. And this sets us up for like a premium Gone in the Flash turn next turn. Kind of like. Ooh, they're trying to null shock me. Okay, does this change our plans? They pitch a Mind Warp. We can use Shock Charmers on this too. So we pass here. They're playing both. What if we just use Shock Charmers on this? That seems reasonable, right? We could also just let this happen. Do we really care to use Shock Charmers here? Like, it's obviously like a little bit annoying, but like it's not the end of the world if this gets countered, right? Although it could like set us up for like a good Gone in a Flash turn if we can block with like Flash Brilliance. Huh. I don't think we're paying for it, obviously, but maybe popping the Shock Charmers here is actually kind of worth it if we want to use Flash of Brilliance to like set up for the Gone in a Flash turn. It seems kind of wrong, but we're basically getting like 2 points of that. I don't know. I think I'm going to actually do it here. They have to have another thing that deals arcane damage here to really mess this up. And they didn't pump Volzar, so they have to have another spell here. I don't know if that's what they were like demonstrating though. They could have also pumped with Volzar, but it only does 2, so the shock charm is still covered anyways. Yeah, I'm debating whether I should have fought over that, but I think it is worth it if we want to set up for a really good Gauntlet Flash turn next turn. They are on 3 cards. So if they have like an attack and they just raw attack into us, and then we have like a random lightning attack card that we can pitch to Flash of Brilliance, I think we're probably happy with that. We do get a pretty big spindle in terms of setting up our Gauntlet Flash turn. Okay, we see a high volting, it's an etchings, and a mind warp. Okay. So we definitely want etchings. I think we want all 3 of these. And then the question is, what spell do we want? Do we want mind warp or do we want etchings? I feel like mind warp is generally better, but the etchings does give us the added benefit of getting back another thing for Gone on the Flash. So maybe that's worth it in terms of killing them. I kind of like that play more. We do lose our CLV, but that's fine. And we find an excellent Gone on the Flash hand. This is exactly perfect. So, yep, we're just going to go ahead and take this for 5. No blocks. Get our embodiment set up. I think things are looking quite good for us here. Pass. Pop our Blossom. Then we'll send in the Gone on the Flash. Oh, looks like they said good game. Good game. We'll pass reacts, pop our Greaves, and then we'll play Sigil Solace, return Gone to hand. Gonna Flash again. Pass reacts, high voltage, return to hand. And then Gonna Flash, play out Sigil Lightning, return it to hand. Now we etchings them. Then we play out Gauntlet Flash 2 more times. This is dealing 9. So we'll get back a conductivity. I don't think it really matters a ton. We'll send in Gauntlet Flash 1 more time, then send another 4. I think that's a really strong turn from us, but it looks like they're probably off it. Interesting to see what their deck was. So they had etchings, E-Strike, Snatch. Looks like they were also on Spindles and potentially... So it's like an interesting little hybrid between Cheerios and kind of like the more aggressive or like spindly stuff. I wonder what the blue count is. So they're at 1. So they have the high voltages. Interesting. So they had high voltage, Sigil Lightning, Sigil Conductivity. And then, whoa, is that their only blues? Interesting. Oh, and the blinks as well. So they are on 12 blues, so that makes sense. Very interesting deck though. Sigil Lightning Press is an interesting card. I keep wanting to almost like go back to it at some point, but it does have like a lot of weird anti-synergies with the deck. Sigil Solace is very good though. Anyways, I always like to just like steal opponents' decks just to like figure out what their thought process is. How many snatches were there on actually? That's a good question. They had one lucky snatch. Is that all it was? That's so funny. Or maybe they had more in their like board or something, but that's very interesting. Okay, cool. Well, anyways, thank you all for watching, and I thank you all for enjoying the content, even though there's some misplays here and there, but hopefully we're trying to improve. So yeah, but with that, I think we're at a good spot to wrap up for today. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.